Almost every fire exit sign, sprinkler system, and fire code you've never thought twice about exists because of a real disaster. These are the events that quietly rewrote how buildings are built and the lives lost that made it happen. The Iroquois Theater Fire, 1903. In 1903, a brand new Chicago theater was advertised as absolutely fireproof. Just weeks after opening, during a packed holiday matinee full of families, a fire broke out backstage and spread into the auditorium within minutes. Over 600 people died, making it still the deadliest single-building fire in American history. Investigators found the exit doors opened inward instead of outward, so as panicked crowds pushed toward them, the doors jammed shut under the weight of the people trying to escape. This is why, to this day, exit doors in public buildings are legally required to open outward, and why push-bar panic hardware exists on doors you walk past every single day without a second thought. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire, 1911. A fire broke out on the upper floors of a New York City garment factory, where mostly young immigrant women worked long shifts sewing clothing. Management had locked several stairwell doors from the outside, a common practice at the time meant to prevent workers from taking unauthorized breaks or stealing supplies. When the fire spread, workers on the top floors found themselves trapped, with no way out and firefighters' ladders too short to reach them. The public outrage that followed led directly to New York's modern building code, covering fire escapes, unlocked exits, and workplace safety standards, a framework that cities across the entire country eventually adopted as their own model. The Coconut Grove Nightclub Fire, 1942. A packed Boston nightclub, holding roughly double its legal capacity that night, caught fire from a small decorative palm tree near the bar. Smoke filled the building in moments, and many of the club's exits were either hidden, locked, or blocked entirely. The main way out was a revolving door, which quickly became jammed as dozens of people tried to force their way through it at the exact same time, trapping them just feet from the street outside. This tragedy directly led to new laws still in place today. Revolving doors must now have a normal, outward swinging door right beside them, and panic hardware, push bars, became mandatory nationwide. The Ronan Point Collapse, 1968. In a London high-rise apartment building, a resident on the 18th floor struck a match to light her stove one morning. A small gas leak ignited, causing an explosion that blew out a load-bearing wall panel. With that single panel gone, the floors above had nothing left to rest on, and they came crashing straight down through every level beneath them like a stack of falling dominoes, taking a whole corner of the building with them. Engineers realized the building had no way to stop one local failure from spreading. This led to major design changes requiring structures that can survive localized damage without triggering a total collapse. The Hyatt Regency Walkway Collapse, 1981. Inside a busy Kansas City hotel, two suspended walkways hung above a crowded lobby packed with people enjoying a Friday night dance. Without warning, both walkways collapsed straight down onto the crowd below, in what remains one of the deadliest structural failures in U.S. history. Investigators traced the cause back to a last-minute change made during construction. A single connection detail was altered in a way that quietly doubled the load on one crucial support point, and nobody rechecked the math before it was built. This disaster became one of the most studied cases in engineering ethics, permanently changing how design changes get reviewed before construction. The Sampoom Department Store Collapse, 1995. In Seoul, a 5-story department store collapsed in under 20 seconds during business hours, with thousands of people still shopping inside. For years beforehand, staff had reported cracks spreading across the ceilings and floors sagging under the weight of an added rooftop structure that was never part of the original design. Management dismissed the warnings and refused to close the store, worried about losing a single day of sales, even as the building groaned under visible structural stress in its final hours. The disaster forced South Korea to overhaul its building codes entirely, introducing strict inspection systems and real legal accountability for builders who cut corners. Every one of these events represents real people who lost their lives. And in nearly every case, the safety standard that followed is one you now benefit from without ever thinking about it. Fire exits, sprinkler systems, and inspection laws exist because someone studied exactly what went wrong and made absolutely sure it couldn't happen the same way again. If this was interesting, subscribe. Next time, we're covering more moments in history that quietly reshaped the world around us.